Today we will be covering Rescue A Snake Eyes, and if you're not familiar with them, a Snake Eyes archetype uses its level 1 fire monsters to build advantage. We will then use these monsters to flood the board, and then link climb into our end board. This pairs well with our Rescue Ace monsters because Rescue Ace Hydrant is a level 1 fire monster, which we can then search by using Sinful Spoils or even with Snake Eye Ash. Generally, what we want to do is use Wanted on our draw phase. This will let us add Diabellstar to our hand. Also doing this in draw phase avoids getting drolled. Then on our main phase, we will then summon Diabellstar by sending one card from our field or hand to the grave to summon herself. This will set original spoils from our deck to our field. Then we can use original Sinful Spoils to send Diabellstar from our field to the grave, which will then summon Snake Eye Ash. Snake Eye Ash can then add Poplar or gives us access to our Rescue Ace part of our deck by adding Hydrant instead. From there, since we've accessed both parts of the deck, we can then just go into our combos, in which I will walk you through in the following replay. This deck doesn't really have omni-negates. Your end board might just lose to Evenly. That's why I'm playing the one Evenly in our deck, so we could hopefully use Crossout Designator should the occasion arise. So with that all covered, let's move on to our duels. So here we are going first, and we did have Wanted in our opening hand, and we really should have used this in the draw phase to avoid getting drolled. But luckily, we did have the called by just in case we get drolled. So we open with Wanted, adding Diabellstar. Now we normal Ash to add Poplar to our hand. Poplar summons itself and adds original Sinful Spoils to our hand. We link this off into Link Karibo. And now Poplar sets itself in our spell trap zone. Now we can use Sinful Spoils to send Poplar away to summon Hydrant from our deck. Hydrant effect to add Turbulence to our hand. Send Turbulence to the grave to summon Diabellstar. And now we use Ash and Link Karibo to summon Flamberge from our deck. And now we link 2 off into IP Masquerena. Flamberge summons back Ash and Poplar. Link IP and Ash into Promethean Princess. Princess summons back Flamberge. Flamberge sets Masquerena to our spell trap zone, and then finally we link into Amblo Whale. Everything that we've done so far is pretty much the common Snake Eyes combo line. We haven't really touched upon our Rescue Ace part of the deck, except for summoning Hydrant and sending Turbulence to the grave. And now we will see why we did all of that. So now we use Rescue to summon back Turbulence from our grave. Turbulence sets up to 4 spell trap cards. We opened with Extinguish, so we're only setting 3 cards. And because we have Hydrant on the field, we get to activate one of these right away. And with that, we chose to use Alert because we've already used Rescue earlier in this turn. We are adding Impulse because this can summon a Rescue Ace monster from our deck to the field after our opponent uses a monster effect on the field. In the draw phase, we used Flamberge to summon IP Masquerena from our spell trap zone. Right when they activate something in the main phase, we can then chain IP Masquerena to link into Appaloosa. They normal summon Quem and use its effect, and here we just use Impulse's effect to tribute itself from the hand to summon a monster from our deck. And then we also use Contain. This targets one of their effect monsters. That monster can now attack for this turn, and its effects are also negated. If we have Hydrant on the field, which we do, it also gains bonus effects, where that monster cannot be used as Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Linked material. So here we just summon Fire Attacker, link 3 off into Appaloosa, Flamberge now triggers from the grave, to summon Poplar and Ash, and both of them again trigger to add more cards to our hand. Now here they use Tuning to add Rev Synchron to their hand, was able to mill their Alistair the Invoker, making the invocation in their hand live. But unfortunately this also triggers our Rescue Ace Fire Attacker, which we can draw 2, sending 1 to the grave. And then they use Invocation here, but we did have the Called By, so we just called by the Alistair in the grave, which then ends up fizzling their Invocation. Invocation shuffles itself back to the deck to add Alistair back to their hand, but at this point, it's just a matter of time until we find lethal. So we'll just speed through all of this. Here I have another version of the Snake Eyes deck, but this time we want to add Abyss Dweller to our end board, and we do this by adding 1 Aratama and 2 Sakitamas. If you want a more budget version, you can just play Parallel Exceed instead of the Sakitamas, but keep in mind that Parallel Exceed is getting semi-limited, so you will be only allowed to play 2 copies of this card in the following weeks. So the next replay is me in solo mode testing this deck out, and you can see everything from my point of view. I will also leave 2 Mannadium replays at the end of this video. Should you have any questions, just let me know and I'll try my best to answer them. And as always, thanks for watching.